is the best podcast on the planet.
So this episode of the podcast is a special request by Holly. For weeks, Dale and I, who clearly have the better discretion about show topics, have said, no, we're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to do that. People are tired of it. But Holly has insisted. Holly has said, if we don't talk politics on this episode, she said she would never, ever do another show with us again. And
she said she was going to walk.
That's right.
Walk.
No,
and so
those were not my words. That's inaccurate. False. Fake news.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what you said. That's the way it is. So yes, we are going to talk a little bit of politics, and I don't know if you've heard about what's going on right now, but oddly enough, today is Super Tuesday, and it has actually three meanings. One, Taco Tuesday. You gotta love Taco Tuesday, right? Mm-hmm. Two, it's Ralph's birthday, which is Holly's husband. So happy birthday, Ralph. How old is he, by the way?
34. Yeah, 34.
Oh my God.
I had to think about it.
Holly?
I had to think about it. Okay, I think once we both hit 30, I stopped keeping track. I was like, we're somewhere in our 30s.
I can't even believe you guys are 30.
I know,
Because,
me neither.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
So
I can't believe it either.
Actually, if you asked me the same question, I would have to, think of the math too. So anyway.
We did ask you that question.
Yeah.
The maths.
So the other thing that today is, oddly enough, I know this is going to come as a complete surprise to most of the audience. It's election day here in the United States. That means everybody should go out and vote. And depending on when you're watching this, hopefully you already have. But here's a nice thing. We are not going to get into my candidate's right and your candidate's a ball of sock. Not doing that. That's not what we're talking about, because I think we've had enough of that.
Anybody I think those exact words have been perpetuated on the internet. That sounds right.
So
anyway, everybody knows Kanye's common sense. So there's no sense even.
My candidate is perfect. Your candidate is rotten to the core. Does that sound familiar? Mm-hmm. No, to be perfectly honest with you, it really doesn't matter to me who you voted for. Now, sure, I would love for you to have voted for my candidate, of course. But the important thing is, regardless of who you voted for, is that you vote. The ability to vote, and I don't want to get all maudlin, right? But the ability for us to be involved in government, literally involved in government by voting, is a true blessing. It is a rarity on this planet, and something we should value much more than I think a lot of us do. So no, I don't care who you voted. I just care that A, you voted, B, you voted legally, and C, vote with your heart. Vote what you think is best for the country.
And vote once. You don't need to vote twice. Vote once.
Just
don't
once.
Cheat. Yeah.
Don't test the system. We don't need to test the system.
No, that's not necessary.
Just do it once. It's fine. We have a hard enough time getting people to vote as it is. Just vote.
Yeah. And so that's what the important thing is. As a matter of fact, I'm not tooting my own horn, but here's how my political views have changed, right? Or my attitude toward candidates. While I was walking my dog today, I noticed that in my neighbor's yard, his sign for the candidate I am not voting for had fallen over. Now, a few years ago, I would have convinced my dog to take a poop right there on that sign.
Yeah, you would have.
Yeah. You know what I did? Picked up
you
his
took
sign.
a poop on it. Oh, I mean.
It's not Ralph. Come on.
No, I picked up his sign and put it back in the yard where it was upright and showing.
Really?
Yeah, I really did that.
You really did that?
Yeah, I swear. I actually did that.
I am literally surprised and applause.
I wouldn't have touched it. I wouldn't have touched it at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to burn you.
No, but if they come out and see you mix with their son, they'd be like, "What are you doing? That's against the law."
Nah, I'd be very happy to say your sign fell over, so I was putting it back.
Oh, okay.
And then if they gave me a bunch of trouble, I'd kick it over, then poop on it.
Oh, okay. So you're only nice. You're conditionally nice.
No.
Oh, okay.
So the point is, I guess what I wanted to talk about is in our political environment, there's been so much just hatred that has been spread on both sides. So much, and I've made the mistake a handful of times of going on Twitter.
No,
it's just
don't do that.
Yeah, Twitter is nasty. It's the most nasty, vile people ever.
Yeah,
on Twitter. It is.
There's just a lot of political yelling. There's a lot of things that are being said on both sides that just aren't true. And it's like one person says one thing and then another person hears it and adds a little to it. And then the next thing you know, well, your candidate stomps puppies in his spare time.
It's very exaggerated.
And it's like, none of that is true. Now,
it's just like the game of telephone,
Yeah, exactly.
Social media version.
Here's the thing. If you have a favorite celebrity, do not follow them on Twitter because you're going to be very disappointed on not only their views, but just their life outlook in general. It's very,
right.
it really, I hate it. I wish I wouldn't have ever added them on there, but
One of the things that stuck out to me is somebody said, stop with the political propaganda because you're just trying to influence me and make me vote your way. Okay, well, there is a lot of that. Okay, there's a lot of ads that try and make each candidate seem like they are the knight in shining armor, and that if you vote for the other guy, then there's going to be death in the streets and crime is going to run rampant. But the other thing that I saw was that somebody was saying, I'm not going to vote because I'm not going to impose my will on other people. And I thought,
wait, they're not going to vote at all because of that?
Right. And I thought, wait, well, hold on. You're not imposing your will, right? Just because I go and vote for that particular candidate, I'm not imposing my will on anyone. I'm voting because I think that particular person or team or group of people will represent in government how I feel. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, you do the same thing. If you think that there should be free-flowing hot chocolate in every household, and there's a candidate that's promising that, then vote for that person.
I will.
Me too.
Yeah,
Can I get my vote back? I already voted.
So that's kind of what I wanted to jump in is it's important to vote, and don't let somebody talk you out of it, or don't feel bad about voting in any, city elections and local, wherever you live and so forth. Don't think you're imposing your will on anybody. You're voting because you're wanting to participate in how the country is run, which is very, very important.
And you're letting your voice be heard. Like, that's a big thing right now. Like, you don't want people to be silenced. You want to be able to be heard. Yeah. And that's important. So
it's very important.
Yeah. Do it.
It's critical.
Yep.
So the other thing is, and this is the meat of what I wanted to get into, there is the idealism of both, the two main political camps. There's idealistic way it should be done. On the conservative side is the founding fathers were awesome and pure and wholesome and prayed to God every spare minute, and everything they did was divinely inspired. And if they happened to walk across a puddle, they didn't sink in, they just walked right across the top of it.
Wow.
Nope. That's not the reality of the situation. On the left, the ideology is that corporations and profit is evil. And I know I'm paraphrasing, and I apologize, that if you're wealthy, you don't deserve to be wealthy, that your funds should be stripped from you so that those that are without can have. That's one policy. And that everyone in government on the left side is compassionate and caring and only care about the benefit of the downtrodden. That's not true either. None of those ideals, none of those idealistic viewpoints of either camp are correct and accurate, because there is a real problem with taking the idealistic idea, right, the ideal, and creating a practical, real application of that. And it's because we are a nation of, how many people are we? We're like 370 million people?
A lot.
Something like that?
Lost count.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quit count. It's like Holly. I quit counting after 300 million.
It's
But
300 million plus.
yeah, exactly. But there's so many of us, and we're all different. We have all different ideals. If you were asked a group of 100 people, all right, here is a problem. Here is a one problem. We have 100 people in the room. Everybody come together and let's create one solution where everybody agrees that that's the right solution. Not going to happen.
No.
It's not going to happen because there's so many different viewpoints, so many different things, and there's so many different heart's desires. So I guess what I'm saying is, what I'd really like to see is a political process where we stop thinking about our self-interest. Stop thinking about, well, we've got to crush that person or besmirch that person's reputation so that our party can be the dominant party in office, that we can be the one in control. It's not getting us anywhere.
Yeah.
But now these days we found out, that, I mean, we've always known there was corruption in politics, but now we know there's more like, instead of just two sides, now there's three. The corrupt politicians want what they're aiming to do,
Mm-hmm.
then we want our way, and then whoever's on opposite of you want their way too. So, but I mean,
you know what? I think there's actually more than, I think that every issue in politics, in the way our government is run, and I'm speaking nationally, it's multifaceted. I do believe that there are people in government right now that their heart's desire is to do the absolute best for the country. I really do. However, I think after an individual has been in that environment for 10 years, then their ability to be objective, their ability to say, no, we're going to stand for what's right and not compromise, I think that becomes weakened. I think after about 10 years, you just, what's that?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Holly. Oh, I was going to say, well, you remember, I'm not going to name the congressman we used to have on our show, and he was a freshman congressman. He went in there, and he was going, he wanted to do the right things and make a change and everything, and they basically told him he's going to go by the old school way, or he's not going to get anything done. Remember that, Seth?
Yeah, I do. I do remember that. And he's not the only one. When I worked in Wisconsin and did political talk radio there, I interviewed several congressmen and senators. I had the pleasure of attending Barack Obama's last State of the Union address. I was there.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's still cool. Regardless, like that's a big thing.
It was very cool. It was a wonderful experience. And during the 3 days that I was there, I got to interview, several Democrat and Republican congressmen and senators. And it was interesting because there were so many different viewpoints, but many of them had the same opinion of Donald Trump. We don't want him here because he doesn't play the game. He doesn't understand how things are done. And it spoke volumes to me because it's like, that's why he's as popular as he is, because he's not coming in as a politician. He's coming in as a businessman, a CEO. Whether you like him or you don't like him, he was not a politician. And that's one of the things that had so much appeal about him. Excuse me. But getting back to what I was going after is, we have so much that needs to be addressed, but there's so many facets to every situation. There are people in government that I think are trying to do the best for our nation. There are others that have been there so long that I think that only they are concerned with, they put up the front, oh, we're concerned about this issue, we're concerned about that issue for the American people. But what they're really concerned about is their party winning the next election.
And
their
staying
party
in
being in
themselves.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah. And lining their pockets.
At times, yes, there has been there's been a lot of corruption in government on both sides. The Democrats, the Republicans, independents, even that happens when you have the access to power and you have a lot of people around saying, "Oh, you're great, you're awesome, whatever you want." It goes to your head, and there's the opportunity for corruption. And it's also because of our nature.
Mm-hmm.
We're greedy people. We like power. Once you get your hands on it, it's good.
Yeah. And as much as people say, "Oh, that's not me, that's not me," it's like, no, come on. Like, it's true.
Yeah.
You wade in that cesspool long enough, you get dirty.
Well, yeah, and that too, like, even if you're trying to get things done, sometimes, you've seen the shows and the movies and stuff, you end up having to kind of play the game or get involved in the cesspool anyway, just to get something else done. And it's like, I didn't want to get my hands dirty. I just wanted to do the right thing, but I still had to end up doing it this way. And
that's kind of the point, is that we have this idealistic view of, well, the politicians should go there and stand up for this and not waver. Well, both sides are doing that.
Yeah.
The problem is you don't get anything done. There is, from the very beginning, there has been a case of, well, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you.
Quid pro quo.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll help. And then nobody gets exactly what they want, but it moves the ball forward. One of the congressmen I talked to said, look, it's not about winning. It's about moving the ball forward a little bit at a time. We move up 3 yards, we give 1 back. That's what it's all about.
I heard somebody. Go ahead, Holly. Go ahead.
I was just going to say you're using a sports analogy, and I'm surprised, but go ahead.
I was going to say I heard a guy explain it like this. It's like wrestling. They're all buddies backstage and stuff, and then they get out. They act like they're for different points, and then later that night they go and have a steak dinner and beer and wine together. And I believe that too.
That's lawyers. That's in the courtrum.
Well, but I'm sure politicians can be that way too.
Oh yeah,
and that's where those backroom deals come, and honestly, that may be where some things actually get done. I mean,
it does.
You've seen that on Hamilton, and but it's actually true. Those things happen, and you're right. You have to give a little bit to get things done. Otherwise, it's just they're just gonna butt heads the whole time. So,
and that's the thing, is that we have to realize that, first of all, the people that are running for office, your guy is not perfect, and the other guy is not Satan incarnate. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. No one is perfect, and no one is rotten to the core. Well, I may be being a little too generous, but every individual that comes up there has good points and bad points. It is important to look at the opposition, the person you don't want to be in office, and look at what have they done that's good. What have they done? You need to look at what they've done, their career record, their stance. What is it that you like? And then do the same for your candidate. Then be honest about looking at your candidate and go, what have you done I'm not happy about?
Yeah.
The same with the other guy. And then if you have to, just make a list, okay? Because there are times, and there will be times, when the person that stands closest to what you want to see done in the country may not have the same designation that you're expecting.
Or political party or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You may find as a Republican that Democrat candidate is actually doing what you want to have done. Mm-hmm. The same for the other way around. The Democrat, you may go, wait a minute, this is what I want for the country, and that Republican is actually saying that that's what he's going to do. One last thing, okay? This came from a very unusual source, but we interviewed
was
Ted
it National
Nugent.
Enquirer?
I don't know.
Was it the National Enquirer?
No, it's Ted Nugent, okay? Ted Nugent. We interviewed Ted Nugent on the show, I don't know, 2 or 3 times, and he had come out with a book called Ted, White, and Blue. Interesting read, okay? And probably one of the best political things ever came out of his mouth. He said, after today, after the day we vote the candidates in, our job is not done. Our job now is to make sure, and I will change his verbiage. He said, our job is to make sure that that individual actually does what they said they were gonna do. Mm-hmm. And that's an ongoing job. And so there it is. That's the whole political thing I wanted to talk about today. You can't hold on to the ideal of your party because it's not realistic. We're not going to go in there in a pure conservative manner and set everything straight and fiscal this and conservative that and just run roughshod over the competition. Not going to happen. The Democrat, the liberal side, we are not going to be able to go in and make sure that everybody has free college and free hot chocolate and free health care and just, everybody has everything free and we all do our share and we all pay for it. That's never going to happen. There's compromise and there's the realism of the plan. It's got to be, you got to look at it from an intelligent, realistic viewpoint. And so that's basically what I was going to say. They're not all evil and they're not all wonderful, perfect individuals either. There's a lot of on both sides. So there it is. That's it. That's all the political rant I wanted to do. It's not about, and, my guy's great. Yeah,
And you know what? Be kind to people, depending, today being election day, whomever wins, whether it's the candidate you vote. And remember, we're not just voting on one thing, by the way. All the other things on the ballot are important too. So wherever you're at, so be mindful that those, actually do your research. I'm just saying. Yeah. But no matter who wins on every point, it doesn't matter. Still be kind to people. And I just want people to be kind and safe because don't go crazy. Okay. Calm down.
So, okay, let's go off on a tangent a little bit. What if you setting out for the day and you're like, okay, I'm not going to be upset. I'm my candidate. If my candidate doesn't win, I'm not going to throw things. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to cuss. I'm not going to kick the neighbor's dog. I'm going to be okay with it. And yet, as you're watching the poll reporting, you feel that, and the next thing you know, you're all pissed off. What do you do in that situation?
Turn the TV off.
You intend to be good. You intend to be kind to people. But the next thing you know, you're pissed off. What do you do?
I mean, I think it depends on the person, but it's whatever you can do to calm yourself down. I mean, for me, it's like, I'm not going to watch it because that's just stressful to me. Yeah. I'll watch it, once it's done and over with, a few days later or whatever, I just, but
I'm going to be honest. Oh, go ahead. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be honest. I was very upset. The one president we have that did the 8 years, the last one, I won't have to name names or nothing, but the second time he's voted in, I mean, it's not like somebody that lost a football game. You have more at stake than just, your favorite person losing. I mean, it could mean more taxes for you. It could mean your loss of rights and stuff. So I think once you don't get over it, you just get through it. So once you get through the initial shock, then you can start being nice to people and and get back to normal.
Well, let that initial shock be done in your own home, is what I'm saying, and not.
I didn't go out.
Don't take it out on other people, and don't get on the internet.
Ram people in the grocery store with my card or nothing.
Or just on the internet too. I'm just saying, calm down.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
There was an individual I spoke to that said at the end of the last election when Trump won over Hillary. I do not know the validity of this. The person that told me this was in government and lives there and is said that when the news came out that Trump had won, Hillary got so angry and so drunk that she could not do her concession speech.
I mean, was she in the comfort of her own home? I'm just saying, everybody needs to process things differently.
But I'm not talking just politics for today. I'm talking about if you find yourself getting wound up and upset at just life in general, what can you do to say, all right, hold on. I'm behaving in a way, or I'm about to behave in a way I really don't want to. I believe in treating other people the way I want to be treated. That's my heart. But I find myself being a jerk sometimes. When you're starting to spool up, what is something you can do to kind of say, all right, hold on. Don't want to be this way. What can we do?
Yoga,
Sure.
meditation, yoga,
Drink.
stuff like that.
No, I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying, if you're like, that's your coping, whatever, no, I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying whatever, maybe it's, if this is airing in the middle of the day on election day, how about think about it now before you know the results and say, hey, this is going to be my coping mechanism. While I am of, good sort of mind state right now, let me think and let me prep for whatever that may be.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Yeah. If you know that there's going to be an opportunity for things to go sideways, prepare for it, think about it ahead of time, you recognize it, and then you're in control, not the situation controlling you. That's
and you can just divert to that. If you're a runner and you know that that'll make you feel good, keep your shoes by the door, whatever. I don't know. I'm not. But
running?
Some people are like that. I don't know.
What?
I'm thinking. If you like to eat, or if you like to, there you go. Have something prepped, or have DoorDash ready to go, or whatever. I don't know.
I've got them on speed dial.
Whatever, have your favorite candy at home, or something,
we're not advocating drinking. Okay. No. That's not what we're advocating. But I'm also an individual. It's like, look, you want to have a glass of wine or a little bit of scotch or something at the end of the day? Fine. Right. I'm not going to, you're going to burn in hell. No, sorry. That's not the way. I don't believe that. But I did notice there's an ad up here where they have alcohol delivery within an hour. There is a delivery service where you go online, you order what you want, and they say within an hour, you got your booze at your doorstep. Is that a good idea?
I think that's a COVID thing. I think that was illegal prior to COVID, right? Or they didn't deliver alcohol. Now they can.
But is that a good idea?
I don't know.
That's enterprise.
Hey, look, as far as the business model is concerned, I'm impressed because,
I'm sure they're doing well.
When I lived in Lakeland, Florida, right? I got up early, and I think I went to the grocery store, Publix, right? Bright and early. And the Publix that I went to, they had a separate liquor store right next to the grocery store. There was a woman, they hadn't opened yet. There was a woman waiting outside the liquor store doorway with a grocery cart waiting. And I was thinking, I bet there's going to be a heck of a party at her place later this afternoon or this evening. Or let's just leave it at that, right? Her coping mechanism, but a grocery cart? And you're waiting there before they open, signs that you may have a problem.
Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, have some things prepared.
That's a very good idea.
That would be my recommendation. Whatever is your coping, whatever calms you down. Whether even if it's just like watching a movie or watching something that's going to completely take your mind off of what's going on. Take a day off of work. Do something.
Yeah. There's the school system up here where we live. The schools were closed for election day.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Schools closed. So a lot of it is because some of the schools are actually polling locations.
That's true too.
And so, I can understand what, you don't want that confusion going on. So I got that. There is one other thing you can do. Now, if you are an individual that is a believer in God, just try it. Just be honest and say, God, I am angry. I am upset. I am fuming. I am really, really upset. And ask God to give you some peace. Ask God to calm your heart. I have done this and it works. Okay? I'm just being honest with you. I'm blunt. There have been times when I've been really spooled up very angry at a certain person or circumstance to where wasn't thinking rationally. Now, I'm not talking violence, but maybe making decisions, important decisions in an emotional state. Don't do that.
Like pooping on someone's yard sign or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I just took a minute and prayed and was honest. And it wasn't, dear Lord, I come to you now. No, it was like, God, I'm just telling you right now, I am angry, I am upset, and I'm thinking about doing this, that, and the other thing. Just calm me and help me to see things the way you want me to see them. And it works. It helps. Now, if you're somebody that's you don't think you're not a believer in God, right? Whatever. Okay, gotcha. But what have you got to lose? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Give it a try. And if it works, hey, you may have discovered something. And if it doesn't, God doesn't answer, well, what have you lost? What harm has it done? Nothing. Just give it a try. All right. So that's it. Holly, are you okay? Have we satisfied your need for political conversation this evening?
No, I didn't want this at all, but it's fine. It wasn't that bad.
It's okay. We understand. You don't.
Now,
I had to
Holly?
go. No, I had to go to the dentist yesterday, and it was, you can go to the dentist. It's not the best thing in the world. I compare it to this. It is all right.
Well, Holly, if your candidate wins, don't you dare get on the internet and gloat about it and
That's right.
rub it in people's faces because they don't like that when that happens.
What'd you have done at the dentist?
Cleaning?
Well, that's not bad.
Got a little tartar off your teeth?
Yes, I did. Thank
Tartar?
you.
Yeah.
No.
You floss?
No.
Do you floss?
No, I do not.
Oh, you got to floss.
I know.
I floss 2 weeks after I get back to the dentist. And 2 weeks before I go. They never know.
I go to the dentist and they're working on my teeth, and the dentist is like, "When was the last time you flossed?" And I'm like, "What are you asking me for? You were there."
Floss? Yeah. You flossed me last time I was in.
Yeah, you were there. I mean, what do you mean? Going for a clean is not that big of a deal. I shouldn't be stressed out about that.
It can be.
Yes, I have a fear of anyway. It's just a whole thing. So I compared that to this. I survived. It was all right.
Yeah, my dentist puts that paper down underneath you, and mine is just soaking wet when I get up. That on the seat to kind of keep it from.
Sorry, why is it wet?
Because you're sweating. Because you're sweating like a hog.
Okay.
My dentist does not put down a paper thing on the seat when I
Have you been during COVID? Have you been during COVID?
Yeah, I just went yesterday. Mine was covered in plastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. That's okay. Mm-hmm. Are you sure you're going to a dentist and not a veterinarian?
Oh, I had my clothes off there. Oh my gosh. No, I was just kidding.
That's the right thing.
Yeah, you don't want to go to your doctor and they say, all right, take off your pants, and you remove your pants. Like, Doc, where should I hang them? And he's like, over there next to mine. That's that's not what you want to hear. That's not a no. That's a good sign.
You might want to change
see another doctor.
Yeah, you might want to change your healthcare provider.
You might want to change. If you like your doctor, you can keep it.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take off. Thank you very much for watching the program. That ends the political part of our show. We probably will not talk politics again unless it's absolutely
or healthcare.
I don't know. We might jump into that. Who knows? But here's the thing. In the near future, we're going to start talking about the things that bother you, the things that are on your heart, maybe the things that have just kept you up at night, stressing, worrying a little bit. Sometimes it helps to talk it out, right? Maybe you have an irrational fear of going to the dentist, right? Maybe your dentist, I don't know, makes you sit on a paper pee pad. No,
it's not a pee pad. It's that thing. Dude, you know what I'm talking about. It's like that roll of stuff that just covers the chair.
No, it's okay. We understand.
Pee pad.
Do you get a treat when you're done?
It's a sweat pad.
Uh-huh. But do they give you a little treat when you're done?
I wish. I'd go more often.
But anyway, start sending us those things. I have found several things that after the first of the year, after the holidays are all over, we're going to jump into that with both feet. So the things that are on your heart, the things that are bothering you, like I said, maybe making you lose a little bit of sleep at night, send them to us and let's talk about it. Sometimes that helps. We'll laugh. We'll have a good time. We'll talk it through. We'll see if we can come to some answers. Who knows what will happen? But that's what we're going to try. So send those messages, emails to SethMilaMedia@gmail.com. Until then, thank you very much for joining us. Can't wait to talk to you next time. Take care, everybody. See ya.